Hello, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why I put on a voice for the start of that. My hair's already acting up, so this is going to be a good show. Welcome to Crack of Noon. My name is Finn, and if you didn't already know, Crack of Noon is the morning-ish show where we talk about bullshit. It is Monday, July 30th. It is 12:15, just about. We started late today because, well, we'll get to that in a second, but I was trying to find more news stories to talk about on the show, but today is like, if Friday was a slow news day, this is just death. But yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, it's Monday, everyone. Monday fun day. How are y'all? How are y'all doing your Mondays? Maybe a lot of you are at work. I don't know why you're watching me if you're at work, but you know, keep slacking off. You're doing good. Maybe you're just waking up. I imagine all of you in the Americas, it's about dawn-ish. Dawnish, Game of Thrones reference. So, there was another one. I just thought of another news story to get up for the thing. Game of Thrones related. Stay tuned for that. Yeah, I hope you all had a good weekend. Hope we're all alive and well. Hope we all had exciting and or chill times. I had a pretty good weekend. I pretty much spent it doing nothing. So it means this week is going to be pretty hectic because I have a lot of stuff to get done before I jet off to Canada for 2 weeks, because I'm going on holiday there, if you didn't know. I'm pretty excited about it. It's my first out of Europe vacation, so I'm very excited. We're going to Vancouver for a bit, and then we're going to the surrounding area, so it should be very fun, and I'm very excited. I'll probably do a vlog. I don't usually do vlogs because, like, well, this is kind of a vlog. I don't really know what to call this. But I'll do like a nicely edited vlog where, like, you see there's music over the back of it, and I'm doing some voiceover stuff afterwards, and there's edited shots of the planes going, and it's gonna be a nice vlog. Just done some of the stuff that we do there, and keep you guys updated on what's happening. Probably still be tweeting while I'm over there. We'll still have internet access, but for the most part, I'll be doing stuff. I believe there is someone at my door, so I will be right back. Give me 2 seconds. Every time when the show starts, someone's at my door, but I'll be right back. Hello, I'm back. What was I talking about? Yeah. So I'm jetting off to Canada on the weekend, so that's exciting. We're jetting off on Saturday, so I'll still be able to do a pre-vacay Crack of Noon episode on Friday, so stay tuned for that. Afterwards, it's going to be like obviously a 2-week gap since I won't be here, so no Crack of Noons or arcades or basically anything coming out between, let me see the dates here, between the 4th of August and the 18th of August. Nothing will be happening there. So yeah. But then I'll be back and I'll talk about all my adventures that I had. My hair, there's like one part just sticking up. But what else? Yeah, I had a pretty good weekend this past weekend. Again, I was essentially saying I did nothing, but Saturday was like a really crazy day for me, because it was very inspirational, if that makes sense. I was basically just consuming and watching a lot of stuff, and everything was like awesome. You know, one of those moments where everything, like every TV show and every book you read and every like person you interact with is awesome. That Saturday was one of those days. But yeah, I woke up and the dub episode of My Hero Academia that featured Hatsune Miku finally got aired, so I watched that immediately, and that was great. She got some great spotlight that episode. I haven't seen that fucking character in so long, and she's like my favorite in the whole show. So it was awesome to see her. And she had a super like heartwarming, uh, inspirational moment whenever they were saying about how, oh, like, look at this corner, it's a pile of junk, and that's all her things she's made since she's got here, and no matter how many times she fails, she just keeps going with a smile on her face. And I was like, fuck, good for you, May. That's why I've been retweeting a bunch of Hatsume fan art, in case you were wondering what the hell is going on there. What else? Then after that, I basically just sat chilling for the whole day, talking to the family, and then when it came to late at night, I was about to settle into bed, but I looked out the window and I saw like a star, or what I thought was a star, but it was super, super bright and I couldn't see any other stars, and it looked like fairly like differently coloured than a star. So I was like, is that a planet? I wonder if that's a planet. And then I like tried to download the Star Walk app on my phone, and yeah, the phone, because my phone sucks, it crashes all the time. So as soon as it downloaded and I was about to open it, the app crashed, and the phone like shut down. And when my phone shuts down, it takes ages to start up again. So I was like sitting here staring at this fucking celestial object, not knowing what the hell it is, and just dying to know. So I got my laptop out and I looked online, and I was like, can I see a planet from here? And then I got a bunch of these articles saying how, because we had the blood moon on Friday, which is like the red tinted moon because the lunar eclipse. So that was cool, but we didn't get to see it over here because there were so many clouds, which sucked. But apparently alongside that was Mars. And I was like, okay, that could be Mars. It's fairly red tinted, but this article is talking about on Friday, and tonight is like Saturday night. I wonder, am I still able to see it? And so I had to sit there waiting and waiting for my phone to finally load. And when it did, I got the app up, and sure enough, there's the moon. And I followed like the path, and there was Mars, and it was exactly where I was looking. So I saw Mars. That was the first planet I've ever seen with my naked eye. So that's fucking awesome. I suppose I see planets with my naked eye all the time. I just don't know that I see them because they're that small or whatever. Or maybe I don't. I don't know how astronomy works. But it's like that got me really interested, and I now want to buy a really good telescope and look at planets more. Because I sat up. I first discovered it about midnight, and I sat up to about 3 or 4 a.m. just staring at it and watching it go across the sky. Because it was crazy. It's Mars. It's another planet. It's big and red and about the side of Earth, and it's way over there, but I can see it. Shit's crazy to me, and I want to buy a telescope. I'm pretty sure you could buy a decently good telescope for about £200. I was looking at the Orion one. It's definitely something I want to pursue in the future. Even if I don't see planets, I'll see stars, and I want to see constellations. I've now gotten super interested in amateur astronomy, so I wanna look at the stars. I was thinking of like, could I possibly get the telescope before the Canada trip, bring it along for the Canada trip, and then look at stars in Canada? But yeah, it'd be so much hassle to like bring an extra bag and shit. So sadly, not this time, but maybe next time. Yeah, super crazy weekend. It's always a good weekend when you get to see another celestial body with your own eye. But yeah, I hope you all had a good weekend too. Again, I didn't get to see the blood moon, which kind of sucked, but there was plenty of time lapses and stuff of it on Reddit alongside Mars, which is pretty crazy. It's like, because the blood moon is like reddish brownish. It sort of looks like big Mars and little Mars. So it's kind of crazy. I'm gonna try and pull up a time lapse of it. We were talking about it on Friday, whether or not we'd be able to see it. Me and my mother and my father, and my dad apparently thought it was called the Mud Moon, and we sat for ages laughing at that. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be hard to find now. Moon and Mars time lapse. I don't want a video. Maybe I do want a video, but I don't really want a video. I want the image. I can't find the same one that I found on Reddit. It was so cool looking though, and I wish I had saw it, because it's like, well, it's fairly often. I'll probably have a chance to see it again in my lifetime for sure, but yeah, I never got to see it like properly. Kinda sucks. I still can't find the time lapse photography I was looking at. That also sucks. That's just a cool ass photo of Blood Moon in Istanbul though, over the what I think is the Hagia Sophia, right? Maybe it's just another mosque. But if it's in Istanbul, I assume that's the Hagia Sophia. It's pretty big. But that's dope. That's like some sci-fi shit. No Mars though. We could see Mars from I believe you could see it from the west coast of Europe and America, depending on what part you're in. So hopefully some of you guys saw it as well. I think that's Hagia Sophia. Yeah, I was correct. That's Hagia Sophia. Anyway, so yeah, I have some stuff to get done before the Canada trip this weekend. And I'm just gonna relax with the family for 2 weeks in a foreign country. I'm excited to see what Canadian culture is like, because my sister's lived there for I think well over 2 years now. Seems like much longer than that, to be honest. But she's sort of been like, every time I ask her about Canada stuff, she's like, she doesn't go into detail enough, so I'm excited to experience firsthand Canadian hospitality. I'm sure they're lovely people, but I also kind of want to see a few of the crazies, because I know over in North America, that's like your number one export is crazies. We have crazy people over in Ireland too, but they're not quite as fun crazy. They're yeah. Anyway, I want to get into the news, but there's very little of it. So I'm gonna pull up this first one. Again, it's gonna be, we have 3 news stories. No, yeah, we have 3 news stories in total, and they're all very, very short. I've not a lot to say about any of them. I'm trying to find the first one right now. Where is it? I'm scrolling through this guy's Twitter feed to find. I could probably just search the keywords that I'm looking for, but no, it's too easy. Ah. Okay. There we go. Right. According to HBO, Game of Thrones' final season debut in the first half of 2019. Prequel to start production early next year. I didn't know the prequel was confirmed happening, first of all, so that's interesting. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I definitely want to see. Do I want to see the Robert Baratheon uprising stuff, or do I just, if I'm not interested, do I just want to read the books? I feel like this could be too much Game of Thrones if they decide to do it, or it could be just great, but I find it hard to believe that it would be good enough to warrant a prequel. But the main story, the final season to debut in the first half of 2019, glad that's confirmed. Really, it's what I sort of expected though. First half can be anywhere from January to June. I imagine somewhere in March and April, the usual Game of Thrones dates, is where it will arrive. Yeah, how many episodes do we have this season? Do we know? Because it's getting shorter and shorter every season. But I believe that also we have less episodes, but they're longer. I think. In Game of Thrones, last season, clickety typing. The 8th and final season of the fantasy drama television series Game of Thrones was announced to HBO. Blah blah blah. Unlike the first 6 seasons that each had 10 episodes, and the 7th one was 7 episodes, the 8th season will have only 6 episodes. Right? Okay. But is there anything on the length of the episodes? Because I'm pretty sure I heard somewhere it was like each episode's like 1.5 to 2 hours. Maybe that doesn't make sense. But yeah, that's the first story. That's it. I completely gave up on coherent grounded writing and will just enjoy the sec. I like to see the plot holes because I don't entirely know what those are yet. Maybe I'll just like ignore them and enjoy it, but I don't think there's any major plot holes, right? And if anything, they could be like explained by the books. Obviously, the show goes into a lot less detail than the books. But yeah, I get what this guy's saying. The spectacle is why you watch Game of Thrones at this point. What else? Moving on to the second news story of the day, comes to us from PC Gamer and a bunch of other news sources, but this is the one we're writing today. Yes. Okay. Portal 2 co-writer Jay Pinkerton returns to Valve. The way this is phrased may make it confusing. Yeah, well, I suppose it says co-writer, but yeah, one of the many writers for Portal 2, not the guy. He could I don't know if he's like the main guy, but he's definitely one of many guys. So a Valve representative it's Monday. I'm gonna blame it on Monday. I hate Mondays. I'm Garfield. That's how he sounds, right? You don't know, he's a comic, right? A Valve representative has confirmed via email that Portal 2 co-writer Jay Pinkerton has returned to the company. Read the original story below. Appears to have returned to Valve after a year after he left the company. Now, I want to look at what he's done in that year, because it's very rare that you'll see someone that high up in a company leave and then return a year later. It's very intriguing. I want to see what he's done in that time. 2017 saw the exodus of Valve writers Eric Wolpaw and Chet Falazek, who wrote Portal 2 alongside with Pinkerton, left in February and May respectively, and Pinkerton followed suit in June. Very interesting for all 3 writers to walk out in the same span of time. However, as spotted by Reddit user OWL Alverlord. That's a terrible username and you should fix it. Pinkerton is now listed on the Valve's staff page alongside a short bio suggesting he has returned to the company for good. As well as Portal 2, Pinkerton wrote parts of Left 4 Dead 2, as well as a lot of ancillary stuff surrounding Valve games such as TF2 comics. As much as I love seeing pen a TF2 comic number 7 something he is open to, I presume he'll be put to work on some new games Valve are working on. Now, you may be like, hey Finn, Valve don't make games, they make money. Yes, to a degree. Valve still make games. They just never finish them. We know they've had a bunch of stuff in development. They've, like, back in the days where they first finished the Portal 2, they actually did start development Half-Life 3 shortly after and then promptly scrapped it. I imagine it's gone through several start and stop initiatives like that as well. Probably Half-Life 3 has been cancelled about 10 times by now. We know Valve are working on a bunch of other stuff as well. Some Left 4 Dead content. We know that right now they're working on some VR games, some undisclosed VR games. They're working on that fucking Dota card game. Fuck. But if you keep up with, if you want to really dig into the nitty gritty of any potential Valve leaks, any sort of little scraps of information that might lead to anything Valve video game related, you should go watch the Valve News Network channel on YouTube. That guy does a lot of investigative stuff on any Valve like patch notes or any cryptic tweets, or he often talks to people at Valve. So if you really want to get into like the nitty gritty and the skepticism, the speculation and the theory crafting, I highly recommend you go to his channel and look at some of the stuff there if you're into that. But a lot of the stuff we have is speculation. We have it on good knowledge that Valve won't be announcing anything at Gamescom. The main reason for that being it's the same weekend as the Dota 2 International, so I imagine a lot of their resources will be expended there. So I'm not expecting Valve to announce a new game anytime soon, unless they take the International as a new way to show off their artifact. I think the Dota card game is called. Whatever, right? I want someone to write a book or potentially do a movie or both. I'd love to see an Aaron Sorkin movie on it. On what the fuck is going on at Valve. I want a Valve movie, right? The same way that the Steve Jobs movie is happening, like where it like takes these different points in time and analyzes what the fuck's going on at those different major stages in the company. I am very bright today. I was trying to adjust the lighting. Oh, hold on, I'll fix this a little bit. Less bright, a little bit, because my only real lighting at this point is the window, and I'm trying to adjust the blinds to sort of not make my face as shiny. It's clearly not working because the sun keeps moving rapidly, and it changes the lighting. If I sit back far enough, it's normal. So I guess if I sit here, that kind of fixes it because I'm in shade. But yeah, how are you doing today, Kami? But yeah, I want someone to make a movie one day, similar to the Aaron Sorkin Steve Jobs movie, about either Gabe Newell or just Valve as a whole. Because I'd love to have any indication of what the fuck's going on there. Constantly staff leaving and coming back, constantly games being started and then immediately cancelled, constantly these stories of the office political system being just fucked. It's really probably the most intriguing story of a video game company ever, right? If you start from the inception days of Valve and work your way up to where the fuck they are now, that's the story I want to hear for sure. Very, very intriguing that this Jay Pinkerton guy has come back after only a year. Again, I'm going to look up now, but I wanted to look up what kind of stuff he was doing since he left, what he was doing in that span of a year. I don't imagine it's much. Is there any way to look it up? I wonder. His Wikipedia page, perhaps. There's not a lot on his Wikipedia. Wikipedia. Cami says, I am fine, just finished a mile and a half walk and now eating breakfast before heading to work. Nice. That's good for you. Good. What are you eating for breakfast? Because I haven't ate yet and I'm quite hungry. I'm going to eat after the show, but I'm a little bit hungry right now. So maybe just that the idea of food will either help or completely shut me down. How do I find out what he's been doing? Maybe I just search his Twitter? Like, dig through his Twitter for a little bit. He really doesn't tweet all that much, so that's not going to help. In fact, his last tweet was in 2017. Very interesting. Maybe the article where he left will shed some light on what he planned to do then, at least. Pick up to join Valve, blah 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 blah. Oh, he left cracked.com to join Valve initially. That's a weird change. Suppose writers are writers. So it's almost this article does not shed any light on what he was doing afterwards. Cami says Rosie makes these breakfast quesadillas that we freeze and just reheat. Eggs, spinach, cheese, and cannellini beans. I add a little hot sauce. Yeah, that's the goodness. That'll do it. Okay, third news story of the day and final, because it's a slow fucking news day. It's that slow of a news day and it's Monday and my head's gone away that I realise I haven't updated the bottom bar to say we're currently talking about news and not the other shit. I'll change it now, but like, what's the point? It's just Mondays, man. Sucks. Ah, dear. Okay. Yay, news. Yeah, third and final news story of the day. They released a new trailer for Castlevania Season 2, so we're going to watch it and discuss it. Boom. Let's go in. Hopefully it should be loud enough.
No further.
So yeah, it's just picking up on where we left off last season. The Belmont, Simon Belmont, I think his name is, and the vampire dude. Very good series if you haven't watched it on Netflix yet.
Humanity has proven to me that they don't deserve the earth. We will scour them off the land. My father, he's gone mad. And now he's going to destroy the world.
They're gonna hunt down Mr. Dracula Man.
Human scheme and betray. They all must die. Imagine it. A world without humans. Under endless night.
Very beautifully animated. Very atmospheric.
Dracula has to be destroyed. We can't fail.
Stand back.
We're all gonna die! All of us! Enough!
Yeah. October 26th, not much to say on that other than I'm hyped. It just seems like we're continuing the story that was set out last season. Voice acting still great, animation background still great, music still great, character still great. I think this is still in prequel territory to the first game. I don't know, I'm not a huge Castlevania dude, but I believe that the first game starts where you're trying to invade Dracula's castle, and it seems like we're not quite there yet. It seems like Dracula's moving out to the people, the villages and the whatnot, terrorizing stuff. Maybe it does end with invading Dracula's castle at the end, but we'll see. Yeah, if you haven't watched the first season yet, it's short enough. It's 4 episodes long, I think. So yeah, go watch it. I believe this season is going to be 8 episodes, so it's going to be even longer. Very good series. I highly recommend that you all go and watch it. There's nothing to really dissect from the trailer, at least not for me, not being a huge Castlevania fan. But I believe everything there is pretty much surface level. The church is still being a dick to everyone. There are apparently more vampires here than just Dracula, or at least those what do you call them, ghouls or whatever, the vampires that aren't quite as suave and intelligent as Dracula. They're more like zombies. Let me see. Yeah, the blonde vampire dude is helping out Belmont and the chick to kill the Dracula. There's some deer over there. Everyone loves deer. There's the castle. I wonder how that compares to I want to see. Okay, so there's the animated castle, and then I want to see how that compares to the Castlevania 1 castle. Okay, yeah, so obviously it's pixelated and a little bit stupid, but that's Castlevania castle. Just show you guys here. That. Okay. Yeah, that's Castlevania 1 like opening, and then that's the animated castle. Very pretty, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it keeps with the theme. Just makes it nicer. Why does my whiteboard say D-Day? That's a reference to the previous Crack of Noon episode on Friday, which you can catch on YouTube if you want to catch up. But essentially, it's we are planning out how I'm going to play all the games I have left to play in 2018, and this is the battle plan. I can't see it because the brightness, god damn it. But this is the battle plan I came up with. It's all gibberish essentially, but I understand it, so that's all I really need. This is all of 2018, and then I also deduced that I'll still have some time in early 2019 because there's barely any games come out after Christmas time that I can so I can play games in like January and February. D-Day refers to the 22nd of February, where 4 games come out at once and I don't know which one I'm going to play yet. But essentially anything I still need to play before then needs to get done in this window. But yeah, go watch previous episodes of Cracking In. That episode was a good episode. It was on Friday, the 27th of July. Yes, I got that right. Yep. Excellent. Yes, now we're going on to the game releases. I better remember to change the thing. I'm remembered to change the thing. I'm currently changing the thing. We're going to move on to what is coming out this week in terms of video games. I imagine there's not very much, because we're still in the post E3 like depression in terms of video game releases. So there's very little. But we'll see. Let's look this up. We're currently on July 30th. There's one that I've spotted that's will at least be interesting to someone I know. So yes. Here are this game's releases. I need to stay back so the shininess doesn't get me. It's a terrible disease. So out today on PC is La Mulana 2. I know Kitty Bard and Staged will be very happy about that. There is a game called Code of Princess EX out for the Switch. Also out for the Switch is a game called Titan Quest. Interesting. There's a game called State of Anarchy Master of Mayhem, which has an interesting logo, so I'm going to look it up. What's it called again? State of Anarchy Master of Mayhem. Sometimes I'll get interested by these and look up what it looks like. So this comes out for Switch, but it's already out on PC. Let me see this trailer because it has an interesting art style. This is again not the thing. Let's just skip ahead. So I have no idea what is quite going on here. There's some story stuff that I don't care about. I basically just want to see gameplay. Oh, this does not look good. Okay. Well, it's kind of neat, but no, not at all what I expected it to be. It actually looks like old school GTA, but it's drawn by a kid in school on his notebook, which is kind of a neat way to go, I think, but it looks super basic. So no thank you for that one. But that's coming out on Switch if you're interested. Yakuza 0 comes out for the PC on August 1st. Cycle 28 comes out. Ikimu, Splendors of the Dark Shard comes out for Switch on the 2nd. Crush Your Enemies also comes out in the 2nd for the Switch. Also, Not a Hero Super Snazzy Edition. Flat Heroes, 1979 Revolution Black Friday. That's an interesting game if you're interested in like history and sort of telltale story-based games. I believe you play as a photographer and you just happen to be in this sort of area during a real revolution that happened in real life. So I might have a look at that one since it's on Switch. I feel more inclined to play games when they're on Switch. I don't know why, just because I can take it on the go. But yeah, also on Switch on the 2nd of August, which is Tuesday. Yes, no, yes. Is Road to... No, 2nd of August is Wednesday. I'm an idiot. Road to Valhalla comes out, which is a game where you play as Ball. Sure. Kensho comes out for the Nintendo Switch. It looks like a mobile game. Salt and Sanctuary, also for the Switch. Final game for the Switch is Picross S2, which I imagine means Season 2. The one game I would be excited for, if I had the console that it's on, WarioWare Gold comes out for the 3DS. I would play the fuck out of that if I had a 3DS, but I don't. Wish it came out for the Switch. I love WarioWare games. Smooth Moves is probably my favourite party game of all time. So maybe that'll change when Super Mario Party, whatever the fuck it's called, comes out this December? I think it's December or November, whatever. Anyway, that's all the games being released this week. Not a great deal to be excited about, but a few gems perhaps if you're looking for something to fill up your backlog before the real games come out. I don't know how much longer we're waiting before we're running into August right now, which is where some interesting stuff comes out. I know we're looking at Wee Happy Few down the line, which I'm interested in. I might not play it, but I'm certainly interested to see how it goes. Overcooked 2 and Dead Cells, but yeah, not much going on this week at the very, very least. I was going to make this a news story, but I made a video of the day instead because it's sort of not related to video games or anime or anything anyway, but I wanted to talk about it anyway. So yeah, we're moving on to video of the day now. This is going to be a short show. Yeah, there's not that much going on today anyway, but yeah, I need to look up the trailer. So there's a movie coming out based on the Irish potato famine and some of the shit that went on during it. It's called Black 47. They finally released a trailer along with some posters, the cast list. I watched the trailer once. I haven't watched it back since, but we're gonna watch it again now just to see. I've already skipped ahead quite a bit here. Blip. Okay. I'm just gonna watch this again and then talk about it afterwards, so you all can see it for yourselves.
I love this country.
What's left of it?
The scenery. You peasants are all the same. No appreciation of beauty.
Beauty would be held in much higher regard, sir, if it could be eaten.
This is the final order to vacate. We are taking the roof off. No!
The English cannot be forgiven.
We've received reports of a deadly attack on a constabulary station in Connemara.
What do you want?
One of our Connaught Rangers. I understand that he is an effective soldier.
He is.
Find this man.
He was the best soldier I ever met.
Sir, you are in grave danger.
Do you think this is the first time our lives have been threatened?
This is different. If I kill a man, they call it murder. If they do it, they call it war. Where will my family get their justice, if not from me?
Everyone's dying of hunger and they're putting food on a boat.
He's a danger to us all.
Won't be leaving here without you.
Then you won't leave at all.
I understand that it may further bolster your sense of injustice to blame me for your brother's demise. But I do not cause the crops to fail, and I am not responsible for people breaking the law. I am merely a servant of the court. I bid you good day.
Ni an berla chang in the courtship shop. Tatukushi and Numaru ma yirahar mi halo fine. Kehui flidalantu.
Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna put that in loop on the background. But yeah, I'm gonna go into like, oops, didn't mean for that to be audio. Yeah, I'm gonna mute it as I talk about it. That was I was excited about this movie when it first got announced. I'm obviously very excited for any movie that showcases a little bit of Irish history, and there have been movies that have done it quite well in the past. I cite the Michael Collins movie starring Liam Neeson. That was quite an excellent movie. There's also Hunger. Hunger is super gruesome. So be prepared for that if you go and watch that. But yeah, I was quite excited for another one of these type of movies to appear. Upon seeing that trailer and some of the posters that got released for it, I'm a bit less enthused now, in the sense that it looks sort of cheesy, like a little too cheesy. It feels like they're glossing over a lot of the stuff that actually happened. It feels a lot more action focused. Like, it feels like a Tarantino movie at some points in this trailer almost. Yeah, it feels like they're, instead of going for like the actual story of how the Irish people suffered and the dilemma that a lot of English people did face, and I'm glad they did show a part in that trailer, the guy who I assume is from Liverpool pointing a gun at one guy and saying, my mum's dying of hunger and they're putting food on a boat. That was my best Scouser, and I thought I did pretty well there. I don't care if any of you are offended. But yeah, I'm glad they're showing like some of the English side there in that sense. Yeah, it seems like the writers and like director, I believe, are all Irish. About half of the main cast at least there at the end is Irish. Some of them are American. This guy here, I'm just gonna bring up the full screen here. This guy, I forget his name, but incredible Irish actor. He's been in. He was actually in the Michael Collins film. He's been in loads of other films starring as non-Irish characters as well. But he's super talented. I'm glad he's in the movie. Even if he plays a minor role. But yeah, it feels like they're just going for this action-oriented revenge fantasy instead of. I would like it to be more of a drama, and some of the reviews say that it is a drama. This trailer does not scream that. But yeah, I still have faith in this movie. It's Irish people writing it. Hopefully they'll understand the complexities that go along with some of the history. But it feels like this one dude, I forget his name. I don't know if they mentioned it in the trailer. It feels like this dude's revenge story in the world of the famine, which is not what I really want. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna see it, almost definitely. But I hope they do the history, like the real history. I hope they do it justice. But yeah. Oh, wrong thing. There we go. Blah. So yeah, that was today's video of the day. When does that come out? Fuck, I should have looked it up. Like 47 release dates. 16th of February 2018? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, no, that was probably when it was initially, like... Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Let's see, there's an article here about the release date. Maybe it was on the trailer, but I forget. Oh my god, I hate every news website ever. Just tell me when it's out. September. Okay. Yeah, the other two were film festivals, but this is the real actual theatrical release is for Ireland, 7th of September. So yeah. Good on them. What's that guy's name? Stephen Ray was the actor I pointed out as an excellent actor. So good for him. I'm glad he's in the movie. So now we're moving on. We're coming to the end of the show already, which is quite quick. But yeah, there's not a lot going on today. So we'll just wrap this one up a little quickly. And yeah. Quickly transitioning into the thing. Nope, not that thing. This thing. Hooray. Yes, we're going to move on to our topic of the day. Remember, if you want to have your input on the show, you can send your topics into the topic of the day, and I will hopefully discuss them if I'm able to in any way. But yeah, you can do that in many ways. If you're in a Twitch chat, Mondays. You can write !topic and get the link that way. If you're on the YouTube video watching this on demand, you can write, you can go to the description down below and the link is there as well. If you're on my Discord under Crack of Noon info in that channel, there's also a link there as well. So there's plenty of ways to get your topics into the show. Please do, because I always like discussing your guys' topic instead of constantly talking about wrestling. So yeah, today's topic comes from Beta. And he asked very simply, how do you feel about the UK finally legalising the use of medication derived from cannabis? Yes, this is going to be an interesting topic. I haven't done like a purely political topic since this show started, actually. So I'm excited to do it. But yes, we're talking about weed, marijuana, cannabis, sweet Mary Jane, pot, the kush, grass, dope, the herb, the reefer, the chronic, the Panama Gold, the Black Russian, the Texas Tea, the Aunt Mary, the Giggle Smoke, the Hot Stick, the Jolly Green. There are a lot of names for weed, as it turns out. I looked these up online. Yeah, if you don't know the story already, if you're not from the UK, recently there's been a lot of discussion about the role of medicinal cannabis and weed, how it might help those that are suffering from things like epileptic seizures and Alzheimer's and chronic pains, which I'm sure doesn't surprise anyone that I stand on the side that science is pretty much backed up to the point where it should be at least explored further as a use for medicine. I believe it does. There's countless studies to suggest that it does help those. Maybe not always in terms of a cure, but in terms of easing the pain and helping them through whatever ails them. So I'm very glad at this. Is a simple way to put it. Part of the things that sparked this discussion is something that happened very close to me. I was a little kid named Billy Caldwell, and he's actually from Northern Ireland, just like me. And he often goes to, I forget where he goes to get them, but he goes to this foreign country on a plane every now and then, him and his mum. This 12-year-old kid and his mum, they go to a foreign country to try and get this cannabis medicine because he has epileptic seizures constantly, and the medicinal cannabis, or the medicine derived from cannabis, there's like an oil, I think, or something, but yeah, it basically eases or prevents most of his seizures from occurring. So undeniable benefits there. But what sparked the debate recently is that he was flying back from getting his latest stock of medicine, and while he was at the airport coming back, the Home Office confiscated his medicine, and there was a big debate on whether he should be allowed to keep it or not. For a long time he wasn't. Since they flown back, he didn't have the medicine. There was an interview with some mother, and she described it as the next day he had, once the medicine was wearing off and he had no more to supplement him, it started off with 1 seizure, and then the next day there was 2 seizures, and then next day there was 3, and then 4, and then on Friday he woke up and he just started having these seizures back to back to back. It's indescribable how you could put a kid through that when you know that there is this medicine that helps him, and that, as far as we know, doesn't have any major drawbacks to it, and you would just keep it off him. Now, in fairness, the government did decide to give this one kid the license to use these medicines in the future, so he now has them back, thank God. And then I forget his name. I need to look it up now. I forget what his role is as well, otherwise I would let's see. It was the Guardian article I was reading. The Home Secretary, Sahid Yavid, announced that they should be placed in Schedule 2 of the 2.1 Misuse of Drug Regulation. This basically means that medicine derived from cannabis will now be able to use by a doctor's prescription. So, thank God. There's obviously a lot of way to go. The bodies in charge of this still have to decide what constitutes cannabis-derived medicines. We still have to decide how strict these laws will be and how they're enforced. UK essentially a long way behind in terms of adopting the benefits of weed and cannabis in terms of the Western world. They have been ever since 1998, where the debate first got brought to the table. For a long time, cannabis was a Schedule 1 drug, which my knowledge of this is quite limited, but from what I know, it basically placed it on levels with heroin, where it was just for recreational use, and it had no medicinal or beneficial value, and that it should be outlawed entirely. Bringing it down to Schedule 2 means that we can't use it recreationally yet, but there are some exceptional circumstances where it can be used, such as medicine. So there are other cases like Billy Caldwell's, who I was mentioning earlier, like Alfie Dingley, who's 6 years old. He also had epileptic fits, and this same medicine helped her out as well. And there are countless cases across the UK, I'm sure, that aren't getting reported on. But yeah, I believe this is a good step forward, but we have a long way to go. I'm glad that at least now, those who need it most, the people who need to use it as medicine, are using it. So I'm glad. I was reading another study on the benefits of weed medicinal. What was the study I was reading? I wonder, is it in my history? Come on. Okay, I gotta look at my history now. Let's see. That was on my phone. Damn it. That's a PDF I have to download. I'm gonna find this article, because or not article, study, because I want to talk about it. Well, it wasn't a study itself, it was like a collection of studies. Let's see. I have it on my phone, I could just read it from my phone, to be honest. This study was done by Clear, which, full disclosure, is a group dedicated to cannabis reforms, but it cites plenty of scientific studies here. It only talks about the facts regarding cannabis and doesn't over exaggerate on a lot of things. There's basically some summary here of what they've deciphered that cannabis can help with. They've cited Alzheimer's disease, cancer, chronic pain, Crohn's disease, and multiple sclerosis. Now, I want to read down here. Two of those strike a little bit at me, because my grandfather passed away when I was very young of Alzheimer's disease. My grandmother passed away when I was a little bit older, but still quite young, of cancer. So, knowing that they could have got maybe some extra help to help them along the way is a little bit disheartening, but I'm glad that we're taking steps forward. I want to bring up some of these quotes here from some of these studies. This is regarding the benefits of cannabis in terms of Alzheimer's disease. This is from Professor Gary Wink in 2014 study from Ohio State University. Using low doses of marijuana for prolonged periods of time at some point in your life, possibly when you're middle-aged or late middle-aged, is probably going to slow the onset of development of dementia to the point where you'll most likely die of old age before you get Alzheimer's. So that's an interesting fact. If you that study seems to suggest that since this is legal now, if you know you have Alzheimer's in your family history, perhaps once you're about 40, maybe 50, maybe even 60 years old, you can start taking this medicine just to try your best to slow any potential symptoms of dementia and Alzheimer's, to the point where you'll most likely die of natural causes before you even notice the effects of Alzheimer's. So that's insanely good, and I believe everyone should be trying to get on that now. I don't imagine that this move to a Schedule 2 cannabis is going to help with preventative medicine like that. I imagine it's only in a case where you can say that you have this condition now and you know cannabis can help it, and the doctor is able to prescribe you. I imagine that's the only circumstances where they'll allow you to have this medicine. So while that may not be a sort of big help, these studies going on is quite useful. Let's see. There's more on Alzheimer's and a bunch of other stuff as well. In 2007, I haven't read this one yet, but I'm going to just read it anyway. The British Journal of Pharmacology? I have no idea how to pronounce that, to be honest. But cannabinoids, which sounds like an alien race of beings, offer a multifaceted approach to treatment of Alzheimer's disease by providing neuroprotection and reducing neuroinflammation whilst simultaneously supporting the brain's intrinsic repair mechanisms. So that is fantastic. There's a lot of more in-depth stuff about cancer here, which I'm going to read later, but I haven't read in depth enough to repeat here. Here's some studies about chronic pain. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out where these studies were. Where these studies originated from, but I'm just going to read some of these quotes out. The study is the first to demonstrate the dose and route-dependent effectiveness of cannabinoids for acute experimentally induced pain in a pain-free population, evidence that supports the role of cannabinoids for the management of pain. Smoked cannabis was generally well tolerated and effective when added to concomitant. All the scientific language is tripping me up. Canadian Medical Association Journal. Our results support the claim that smoked cannabis reduces pain, improves mood, and helps sleep. So this is all to do with how it might help chronic pain. And I'm just going to do a little bit here on MS. There is a clear consensus among scientists and doctors that cannabis is safe and effective as a palliative treatment for MS. Further promising research is underway into whether cannabinoids may have a curative effect by promoting the repair of some part of the brain that I can't pronounce. To be honest, Beta, I don't think that this is a huge step in terms of getting people the help they need when it comes to cannabis. I still believe that the UK government, for the most part, is just reacting to a controversy the way they normally would. It would be the same tactics if one of their MPs was in a scandal or whatever. This is not a move that is done in goodwill. This is a very reactionary move done to try and save face. So when it comes to actual enforcement and how they handle the actual laws, I imagine it'll be a bit more disappointing than we expect. But you just gotta take every move forward you can. Yeah, it's I forget the quote I'm thinking of, but it's like change rarely ever comes in the form of a revolution. It comes in like baby steps, something to that effect. I definitely botched that quote. But yeah, baby steps. Yeah, again, that's probably the end of the show. I don't think we have any shoutouts to mention today. No, we don't. There's no one to host, sadly. Nah. So yeah, that's the end of today's show. It was a short one, but yeah, there's not that much to talk about. Hopefully we'll have a bit of a longer show on Friday. I might bring someone in to talk about some other stuff there. But yeah, I will see you guys on Friday at the crack of noon. Till next time.